EA Sports just dropped the surprise Madden 24 update early. They put it out today instead of waiting until next week. We never usually get big title updates on a Friday, but they switched it up on us, and this is a pretty big first update for Madden 24. We've got a ton of gameplay stuff, a ton of franchise stuff, superstar mode, we've got some new player likeness, new equipment, everything you can think of in this update. So we're going to cover everything you need to know for what's changed in Madden 24. Now on their website, they talk about the changes that they just made in this pretty big update, but before they even got into the changes, they also mentioned some other things that weren't in the update, but they're monitoring or actively working on. And one thing they mentioned was the slow UI transitions, and they said, we heard your feedback about the UI transitions. We have been actively working to optimize high traffic screens across all modes in the game. Players should feel improvements in superstar mode and ultimate team with this update, and the team is continuing to work on this as a top priority, as players can expect incremental updates and improvements to screen transitions in the coming weeks and updates, because we know there's been some lag and things like that, and those are things a lot of times they can go in on the back end and they don't have to make a full update for, so we could be seeing some changes to that in the coming days as well. They also mentioned passing accuracy and said, we've heard players' feedback about passing accuracy, specifically inside of Ultimate Team gameplay. It says this title update does not include any updates or tuning to passing accuracy. As the player content in Ultimate Team progresses and the passing ratings get better, the expectation is QBs will naturally become more accurate. However, we will continue to actively monitor QB performance. Now, I feel like the inaccuracies it's outside of Ultimate Team too. It's in regs, it's wherever you play. So I don't know. I still think, clean pockets, set feet, not under pressure should have more accuracies than we're currently seeing, but I guess they're going to continue to monitor it. They also mentioned the franchise draft classes, and they said that the team is aware of the issue that is impacting the draft classes, and they are prioritizing fixes, and they'll let us know as soon as they have an update on that. Now let's get into the stuff that changed today. So let's start with gameplay. They had a lot of little tuning and fixes with gameplay here. It said they did some tuning to allow the defense more time to make adjustments versus hurry up offense. I talked about this in my preview video yesterday. Hurry up was one of the most overpowered things in the game, so they have definitely now adjusted that so it's not as OP as it was before. They fixed an issue causing edge pass rushers to shed to the inside too frequently. They fixed an issue allowing users to draw defenders out of coverage on the gun empty halfback wide RPO stick draw. That was definitely a little bit of a bug. They fixed a broken route in the gun bunch Y flex verticals. They also fixed a broken route in the gun trips tight end patch Y in, where the wheel route running to the boundary side. We've definitely seen some things with wheel routes kind of stopping short, so hopefully they fixed all of those and not just the one play. They fixed a rare issue preventing the offense from snapping the ball after motioning a receiver in shotgun mesh plays. They fixed an issue allowing the incorrect signature celebration to trigger for Dolphins wide receiver Jalen Waddle. Now this is a funny one because I did a video on celebrations a couple weeks ago and everybody noticed it in the video. I myself, even when I was recording it, I was like, the Waddle celebration just looks weird. Like his arms don't look correct. I don't know. It was very clearly not the way it was supposed to look, because last year it looked correct. So I don't know what happened there, but they did fix it and now it looks 10 times better. It looks like it did last year. Yeah, you could still say it's a little stiff, it's a little slow, but whatever. It's way better than what Madden 24 launched with. I don't know what they were doing with that, but they got that cleared up. They fixed a rare issue causing players to see big head mode in other modes after leaving practice mode. I've definitely seen people say that. Kind of a funny bug, but that one's gone. They fixed a rare issue preventing users from picking a defensive play after an offsides penalty. They also fixed an issue in the trench battle long haul mini game that made it too difficult to tackle the QB. Definitely saw some people complaining about that. They also made some tuning to abilities here to make them more effective. They have made inside and outside shade more effective, unstoppable force, double or nothing, jam master, press elite, and return man. That's pretty interesting because I felt that inside and outside shade, from the little I've messed with it, I felt like they were pretty good. I didn't think they needed to be any better. However, double or nothing was a little noticeably worse than it had been in previous years, so kind of good to see that they buffed that a little bit. Now, hey, if you're still here at this point of the video and you haven't subscribed yet, you might as well go ahead and subscribe, join the family. I mean, you're basically already a part of the family anyway if you're here watching the content. That way you're always up to date with the latest Madden and football gaming news. Now let's get to franchise mode. There's a pretty long list of little bugs and things that they addressed here for franchise, so I know people will be happy to see this. They fixed an issue with franchise news where no news was being generated after free agency. They fixed an issue where the dynamic momentum and home field advantage setting was not working properly. Definitely saw a lot of people complaining about that. They fixed an issue where commissioners of the league were unable to edit the appearance of other CPU players. That's another huge one. That's really good that they got that under control. They fixed an issue where non-commissioners could change the age of a player. Fixed an issue where non-commissioners could edit the height and weight of a player. Fixed an issue with several injuries that were causing inconsistent recovery times. Fixed an issue where the contract contract acceptance factors were sometimes not returning the expected values when a player first offered contract is during the offseason re-sign week. They fixed an issue where editing a player in the front end would cause issue with their year's experience. They fixed an issue that would cause season icons to appear in the draft widget during the draft. Fixed an issue where the weather could change when resuming a franchise game. Fixed an issue where teams would be wearing default uniforms when resuming a franchise game rather than the one selected to start the game. They also fixed a crash when entering the scouts menu as a free agent coach. Fixed an issue where newly hired coaches would appear in the Coach of the Year award. Added a controls option to the mini games pause menu in franchise mode. Fixed an issue where players on their 5th year option would sometimes appear twice in the re-sign list. Fixed an issue where edit player option was not available when joining league as a player. Fixed an issue where the season experience setting was not affecting the reorder depth chart option. Fixed an issue where users were able to restructure contracts as a player. They also fixed several UI and font issues and various stability fixes, so maybe the menus can be a little bit better there in franchise. But as you can see, nothing too game breaking luckily so far this year for franchise. A lot of smaller things that do add up though, but it looks like they cleaned a lot of that up. So now it's mainly getting the draft class situation under control, and then hopefully everything should be good to go there. Now really quickly, I do want to mention that we are sponsored by Underdog Fantasy once again. They are a great fantasy app, and they also have a fun pick'em game that I like to dabble in myself when I'm watching sports. And with week 1 of the NFL season coming up, they actually have a great special going on that you just can't beat. You can get Patrick Mahomes to go higher than 0.5 yards. So that means if he passes for 1 yard, which he obviously is, that's gonna hit. So all you have to do is find another prop that you like, whether it be from that game or just any other week 1 NFL game. So for example, in that same game, I'm gonna take Amon-Ra St. Brown to go higher than 77.5 yards. And if both of those hit, you can win some money. And with Mahomes being at 0.5 yards, they're just basically giving you a free play right there. So you just have to find one other thing to get right. Now, if you sign up and use my promo code RAY, R-A-Y, they'll actually double your first deposit up to $100. So you can get $100 free to play around with. So if you're interested in it, check it out. Now let's talk about Superstar Mode. They fixed an issue where online head-to-head users were shown different color curated uniforms in online games. Fixed Showdown Squads desync when party leader previews the top rewards at the squad's ranked or group filling. They fixed an issue in Superstar Showdown allowing the celebration wheel to appear for the incorrect user. Fixed an issue in Superstar Showdown preventing the celebration wheel to appear as much as it should for QBs on first downs. Fixed an issue in Superstar Showdown preventing the chosen TD celebration from triggering on a game-winning touchdown. They fixed an issue where users that are not the party leader in Showdown could view and scroll events when returning to the lobby post-game. They improved the visual look of the blitz timer in Superstar Showdown. Fixed a rare save issue including position in the league changing to QB during the season. They removed autoplay functionality for social media reactions. Fixed multiple top priority visual bugs and several stability bugs as well. Now let's talk about some of the NFL authenticity people have been waiting for. So they did add the Lions and Browns new alternate helmets, which look absolutely amazing. I like the white helmet look that a lot of teams are kind of bringing in as their alternate. Looks really good on the Browns, especially with that throwback uniform. So good to see that finally represented in the game. They also added the Lions blue helmet, which I think is one of the best looking helmets in the league already, even though it hasn't even been worn in real life yet. But this is a beautiful looking helmet. I know I saw a lot of Lions fans asking when this was coming. It's now in the game. Now there are still some other helmets that they have to add because they were kind of unveiled very close to the release of the game, and these things take a little bit of time to put into the game. We saw that last year. The first 2 updates, we saw all of the new alternate helmets get put in. So I know there's still the Broncos helmet, and I know there's probably another helmet or two that I can't remember off the top of my head, but there are still a couple other new alternate helmets that do need to be added to the game. The Colts is another one, the Colts black helmet. So probably going to see that in a couple weeks when that second big update rolls out. They did a branding update on the Jaguar Stadium. Now I'm not 100% familiar what changed with the Jaguar Stadium. Maybe it's a new sponsor or something. I'm just not 100% sure. I'm sure Jaguar fans let me know in the comments, but they did update branding for the stadium. So I'm assuming that means something to do with sponsors and stuff like that. They also did an update on the Jets and Giants center field logos. That's something that I was still very surprised that it just didn't launch like that with the game, because that seems like an easier thing to fix. No longer do they have the NFL shield at midfield. They're using their respective logos, which looks so much better. I mean, that's what you want to see at midfield. You want to see the logo, not the NFL logo. So they look good in game. It's now officially updated for the New York teams. It also says here that they did add some new gear and equipment to the game. It said they added the Jordan Flylock gloves, the Jordan Retro low cleats, and the Jordan 7 low cleats. Now the Jordan 7s were already in the game. I went over that when the game dropped, so that one was already there. The other 2 pieces of equipment, I'm not seeing it in the game, so I don't know if something got messed up there and it didn't get pushed through. So we know that that is at least coming soon, those 2 pieces of equipment. equipment, and there'll be more throughout the year. I'm sure they always pretty much put in new equipment every other update or so, at least a few things. So these things are probably coming, but they have not been officially put in yet, except for the Jordan 7 lows, which were already there. They also fixed an issue causing the shoulder numbers to be mismatched from the uniform number on the Vikings alternate classic uniform. They fixed an issue causing the Jets alternate classic to populate as a dark uniform option rather than light. They fixed an issue with the Eagles stadium walls not having collision enabled on all geometry. We also got some new player likeness updates. Now, we didn't get a big batch, so I'm guessing that's coming with the update in a couple of weeks where we're going to get most of the rookies and other players, but we did get a few guys. One who kind of surprised me was Aaron Rodgers. I didn't think he would get an update because usually players this late in their career typically don't get updated player likeness, but man, his looks so good. I didn't realize how bad his last one looked until I saw this one. And you know, to be fair, anytime people get updated player likeness now over these last couple years, or the rookies that come in with the new face scans, the technology now, especially on new gen, it just looks so much better than how it did even 3 years ago, like Madden 21. When you go look back at Madden 21, when a player would come in with a new face scan versus how they look now when they come in with a new face scan, it just looks so much more realistic. I don't know the right way to say it, but it just looks so much better now. Now, they also had Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter listed here, but he still has the generic face scan, so I think they probably listed him by accident. He's probably coming in the next update, which will come in a few weeks, so his actually isn't updated. We do have Patriots rookie Christian Gonzalez, another one that just looks spot on. Like, they just look so much better. A few years back, when these new guys would come in and get face scans, they'd be hit or miss. Some would look really good, some would look a little off. Now, these guys coming in, it looks exactly like them, so I don't know how the technology has exactly changed. I think some of it has to do with the lighting being, you know, so much better on the newer consoles, but even still, just looks crazy. Now, the Texans safety Jalen Petrie, another young player, he got his player likeness again, looking spot on. I mean, it just doesn't really get much better than this in my opinion, so I can't wait till they finally really can get all the other new guys in and just really update some of the veterans as well, to where everybody in the game is kind of on this newer player likeness or face scan tech versus some of the ones that still have like the old gen because they haven't been updated, because they just look so much better. We got Bengals left end Miles Murphy, who also got his player likeness looking really sharp as well. We've got Packers left outside linebacker Lucas Van Ness, another good looking one in the game here. So we're starting to finally get some of these guys in. And we've got Seahawks right outside linebacker. I don't know how to say his name, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to pronounce it. I'm bad with names sometimes, so I'm not gonna pronounce it, but you could see him on the screen right here and he's looking good. We also got some presentation updates, so let's see what they fixed here. We've got a fix for the gameplay camera sometimes being zoomed out after exiting instant replay. They fixed shots of backwards referees appearing in specific stadiums. They fixed missing NFL player portraits in the player wipe. They fixed the QB running onto the field after a safety updated to kicking team. They fixed various issues with the Jumbotron in Showdown. They fixed a pop-in gameplay camera after QB throws the ball in target passing minigame. And they updated NFL stadium exterior shots. So I know that they said they were working on more exterior shots for the stadiums when you load into a game and they're kind of showing you the outside of the stadium. We saw some new ones when the game dropped, but I guess they added a bunch more now. And to be honest, I don't pay close enough attention to the stadium shots, so I couldn't tell you which ones are new and which ones are old, but it looks like if you load into a game now, you'll see some new exterior shots of the stadiums updated in the game. They also fixed the audio that everybody was complaining about, which is a big deal here. They increased the volume of the collision sounds with blocking and tackles. They increased the volume of team-specific crowd chants, because we know we really weren't hearing a lot of the crowd chants for some reason. There are a variety of commentary bug fixes and tuning. They added additional crowd logic and tuning. They fixed issues with volume fluctuations with music and ambience in superstar mode. They also added 1,900 lines of new commentary from Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. That's pretty interesting. I don't know how far 1,900 lines really goes. It sounds like a lot, but if you play the game a bunch and you're hearing them talk so much, it might not be that much, so it's kind of hard for me to gauge, but we know the commentary has been stale for years. We want to see some updates there. When the game launched, it seemed like it was pretty unchanged. So now they said they added 1,900 lines, so I don't know what that entails. I don't know if a lot of that is probably to do with rookies, I'm sure, like rookie names, because they weren't saying some of the rookie names, even big name guys. So a lot of that probably has to do with rookie players, but we'll see. Maybe they added some good stuff in there for us to find. That's a pretty big first update to Madden 24, and we definitely got a lot more to come. Now, if you want to know what's currently happening with the upcoming NCAA college football game that's dropping next year, make sure to check out this video right here on the screen.